Hello, my name is Leo Pappas. I'm a federal magistrate judge, and I will be your guide for this video. Today is a special opportunity for you to see and decide a criminal trial, to act as a juror to decide the outcome. This trial involves two teenagers accused of selling marijuana at school. The state believes both teenagers are guilty and relies upon the testimony of a police officer who overheard the teens talking about drugs. The defendants will give conflicting stories and blame each other. During the trial, you'll see a number of different people, including Andy Adams, a defendant, Andy Adams' defense lawyer, Beth Baker, a defendant, Beth Baker's defense lawyer, a prosecution lawyer, Charlie Crown, the police officer, a courtroom clerk and bailiff, a court reporter, a judge, and of course the jurors. You will also see during the trial flashbacks. Now, during a real trial you would never see flashbacks, but here the flashbacks are being shown to help you understand the witness's memory of how things happened from their perspective, not what actually happened. What actually happened is for you, the jury, to decide after you hear all the evidence and decide who to believe. Now, the case is about to begin. The judge has invited the attorneys to make an opening statement, which is an explanation of what that party expects the case to show. It's kind of like a table of contents in a book or a kind of roadmap that helps you follow what the witnesses are expected to say during the trial. Now, your responsibilities as jurors starts now. Let's listen.
Counsel, you may begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the attorney for the prosecution. The government's case is simple. Today you will hear evidence that Andy Adams and Beth Baker were both involved in a scheme to sell marijuana to other students at San Diego Middle School. You will hear Officer Crown testify that he heard Andy and Beth talking about making a lot of money selling marijuana to their friends. Officer Crown will testify that he saw Andy show Beth money and then later saw Andy holding a bag of marijuana. Officer Crown will also testify that when he arrested Andy and Beth, he found $200 in cash and 1 1/2 ounce of marijuana. Andy and Beth are charged with a serious crime, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute it. Due to the amount of cash and drugs involved, it is clear that Andy and Beth both were selling marijuana to their friends. I ask you to do the right thing and return a verdict of guilty towards both defendants.
The government may call its first witness.
The government calls Officer Charlie Crown to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please take a seat and state your name for the record.
My name is Officer Charlie Crown.
Officer Crown, please tell the jury about your job.
I'm a member of the San Diego Police Department's Drug Prevention Task Force. I patrol the neighborhood around San Diego Middle School.
Were you at San Diego Middle School the day of the arrest?
Yes, I walked by about 4:30 p.m.
And did you see the defendants, Andy and Beth, outside the school that afternoon?
I saw Andy. He was sitting on a planter outside the school. He looked somewhat nervous, so I decided I'd stay around for a few minutes and watch him.
What did Andy do to make him look nervous?
Well, he was looking around a lot. And several times I saw him open up his backpack, look inside of it, and then he would shut it. His behavior was very suspicious to me, so I decided to watch him.
What happened next?
About a minute later, I saw Beth walking toward Andy. Andy waved to her, pulled some money out of his backpack and showed it to her, then put his backpack on the ground, so she could sit next to him, and then they started talking.
Did you hear what they were saying?
They were laughing a lot, and at one point I heard the word weed, and that's a slang term for marijuana. And that really caught my attention, so I decided to listen a little bit more closely.
What else did you hear?
One of them said something like, "This is some really good stuff, and I think they'd like it, and we can make a lot of money by selling it to friends." Then I saw Andy holding a bag of marijuana, or what it looked to be like marijuana, and that's when I approached the two and placed them under arrest.
Your Honor, with your permission, I would like to ask the witness to identify government's Exhibits 1 and 2.
Both of those exhibits have been received into evidence. Will the bailiff please show those exhibits to the witness?
Officer Crown, do you recognize Exhibit 1?
Yes, this is the money I found in Andy's pocket. It's about $200 in cash.
The bailiff is now showing you government's Exhibit 2. Is this the bag you saw Andy holding?
Yes.
Did you test the contents of the bag?
Yes, the police lab confirmed that the bag contained about 1.5 ounces of marijuana.
Thank you, Officer Crown. No further questions, Your Honor.
You may now cross-examine the witness.
Officer Crown, how far away were you standing when you heard Andy and Beth talking?
I'd say about 15 feet away. I wanted to stay close enough so I could hear what they were saying, but I didn't want to have them notice me. So I sat on the other side of the planter because there was a tree in the middle that kind of blocked their vision.
And you can hear everything that Andy and Beth said from that distance.
I probably didn't hear everything, but I heard enough to know that they were talking about selling drugs to other kids.
Were the other kids around while you were watching Andy and Beth?
Well, occasionally a group of kids would walk by, and there were some kids playing soccer on the lawn.
Was it noisy?
Not really. The kids playing soccer were yelling a little.
Would you say you had a clear view of Andy and Beth during their entire conversation?
I'd say that most of the time I did.
Would it be fair to say that some students blocked your view at times?
I think, just once. The kids playing soccer kicked the ball over towards me. I bent down to pick it up, and I threw it back. When I looked back at Andy and Beth, Andy was holding the bag of marijuana. And then I approached the two and placed them under arrest.
When did that happen?
They had been talking for a few minutes.
Did you actually see Beth hand the marijuana to Andy?
No. I saw, Andy was holding the marijuana and talking to Beth at the same time. And, they were both smiling. Beth didn't seem very uncomfortable. I mean, not like she was surprised to see the drugs at all. They were both interested in the marijuana, and they were definitely friends.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is not answering the question.
It is a good objection. I'll sustain it. Officer Crown, please just answer the question asked and do not add any extra comments.
Could you repeat the question?
I asked you if you saw Beth hand the marijuana to Andy.
No. I didn't see Beth hand it to Andy.
And when you sent the bag to the police lab, did you have them check it for fingerprints?
No.
You have testified that you heard kids talking, but did you hear Beth say that she was going to sell marijuana to anyone?
No. I heard one of them say that they can make a lot of money by selling it to their friends.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Officer Crown. You may step down. Anything further from the prosecution?
No, Your Honor. The government rests.
Does defendant Andy Adams wish to present evidence?
What grade are you in, Andy?
I'm in 7th grade at San Diego Middle School.
Do you like school?
I love school. I work really hard. I'm in the band too, and that's a lot of fun.
Andy, what is Exhibit A?
It's my report card.
What grades did you get?
I got all A's.
And what is Exhibit B?
It's the certificate I got when I graduated from the DARE program.
Do you think you could tell the jury a little bit about DARE?
DARE is a program that teaches you about the dangers of drugs. You had to promise never to do drugs in order to graduate, and then they give you this certificate.
Andy, have you ever gotten in trouble at school?
No, like I said, I like school.
Andy, I know you're nervous, but please try to tell the jury in your own words what happened the day of your arrest.
Well, it was about 4:30, and I had left band practice. I was waiting out front for my grandma to pick me up so we could go shopping for new computer games.
Is that why you had the money with you?
Yeah, that's right. My mom gave it to me that morning.
And did you ever plan to meet Beth after school?
No, we are not friends. She's a big jerk. I've heard rumors that she beats up other kids and steals things from them, so I stay away from her.
Your Honor, I object. Andy has no personal knowledge that Beth did these things. Andy is spreading rumors about my client.
Any comment from Andy's attorney?
Your Honor, we are not offering this testimony to show Beth is a bad kid, but Andy needs to tell the jury why he pretended to be friends with Beth. This is important information for his defense.
The objection is overruled. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have heard testimony that Beth may have stolen backpacks and been in fights. You cannot use that evidence to find that Beth is a bad kid, but you may consider that Andy thought Beth was a bully and a thief. Counsel, you may continue.
Andy, if you were afraid of Beth, then why did the police officer say it looked like you were friends?
Well, I guess it kind of looked that way. But when I saw Beth coming, I was scared. I looked around to see if any of my friends were around to help, but they had already left. It looked like Beth was coming over to talk to me, so I waved and said hi. I thought if I were nice to her, she wouldn't beat me up.
Do you sometimes laugh when you're nervous?
I guess so. I was really nervous.
The police officer said that you showed your money to Beth. Is that what happened?
No, he is wrong. Even before Beth came up, I was nervous that somebody would take the money. When I saw Beth coming, I knew it was real trouble. I didn't want her to take my backpack, so I took the money out of my backpack to put in my pocket. I wanted to keep the money safe.
What happened next?
Beth said she had to talk to me. I tried to act cool, but I was scared. I guess I laughed a little because I was nervous, and I tried to be friendly, so I asked her what she wanted.
What did she say?
She said she had some stuff that the other guys on the band would really like.
Could she have called it weed?
Maybe. I don't know. I was kind of in shock that she was even talking to me. Then she asked me if I wanted to see it.
And what did you say?
I said, I guess so, because I was curious, and I didn't want her to get mad at me.
Then what happened?
Beth took a bag out of her backpack and handed it to me. I guess that's when the kids playing soccer ran by, and that's why the police officer didn't see Beth hand me the bag. But the bag came from her backpack, not mine.
What exactly was in the bag?
I really didn't even know. I'd never seen real marijuana before, but Beth told me it was really good pot.
Did she ask you to help her sell the marijuana?
Yes, she did. Beth told me I could sell marijuana to my friends and that they would really like it. She told me I could make a lot of money.
Why didn't you just tell Beth no, or leave to go get help?
Well, I know I should have, but Beth scares me. But I didn't want her to know that, so I acted cool, like everything was okay. Inside, though, I was really scared.
Did you talk to Beth about making money?
That's true, but I only pretended like I was interested because I didn't want Beth to think I was a nerd. But I never planned to sell marijuana.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may now cross-examine the witness.
Andy, is this your money?
I guess.
Isn't it true that you showed Beth and you bragged about how much money you had made selling drugs?
No, that's a lie. I was nervous that Beth would steal from me. I had heard rumors about stuff like that. I took my money out of my backpack to hide it from Beth. I never ever wanted Beth to see my money.
Isn't it true that you and Beth talked about making a lot of money selling marijuana?
No, the police officer didn't hear it right. I acted like I was interested because I didn't want Beth to think I was a nerd.
Is this the marijuana you were holding when you were arrested?
Like I said before, I didn't know it was marijuana.
Where did this bag come from?
Beth gave it to me to look at.
And you held it while you talked to Beth?
Well, yeah. I didn't want her to think I wasn't cool, so I acted like I knew what it was.
Andy, you said you like school, but isn't it true that you've missed a lot of classes recently?
I guess so.
Why is that?
Well, my parents are getting a divorce, and sometimes I'm too upset to sit in class.
Are you worried about your parents' money situation?
Yeah, my parents fight about money all the time. I'm worried about who will pay for my music lessons in summer camp. I wish I had more money to help them out.
And it sounds like you found a way to do that. No further questions, Your Honor.
Objection. The defense moves to strike that improper comment. The court should instruct the jury to ignore it.
Sustained. The jury will disregard the last comment by the prosecutor. Anything further for the defendant, Andy?
No, Your Honor. Defendant Andy rests.
Thank you. Does defendant Beth Baker wish to present evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant calls Beth Baker to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please take a seat and state your name for the record.
My name is Beth Baker.
Good morning, Beth.
Good morning.
Beth, what grade are you in?
I'm in the 7th grade.
Did you participate in any sports?
Yeah, I'm on the swim team. I love it.
So do you practice a lot?
Yes, my coach, he really pushes me to work out and be strong. I take winning very seriously. I want to try out for the Olympic swim team someday. He thinks I have a real chance.
Is this your swimming trophy?
That's it. I won it at the citywide swim meet.
Beth, do you use drugs?
No, I want to try out for the Olympic swim team someday. It would be really stupid to use drugs.
Beth, please tell the jury in your own words how this mess started.
Well, that kid Andy called me over to talk to him.
Are you friends with Andy?
No, he's a real nerd. He hangs out with all the other nerds in the band. I wouldn't be caught dead seen with him.
If you don't like him, why did the police officer see you talking to him?
Well, he called me over to talk to him, and it was about 4:30, so all my friends had already gone home.
What made you think Andy wanted to talk to you?
He kind of waved at me and moved his backpack over so I could sit down. I was curious, so I asked him what's up.
And what did Andy say?
He said he had some really good weed he wanted to sell. Well, he asked me if I could help him sell it.
What did you think about that?
I was really surprised. I didn't expect a guy like Andy to be involved in drugs. But I guess I don't know him very well after all.
What did Andy say when he showed you the marijuana?
He asked me if I wanted to sell it to my friends. He bragged about all the fancy computer equipment he had. And he said I could buy a lot of cool stuff too if I helped him.
Did you agree to help sell the marijuana?
No, but before I could leave, the police officer arrested us.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
You may now cross-examine the witness.
Beth, does that look familiar?
Yeah, that's my lighter.
Do you use this to smoke marijuana?
No. Weren't you listening? I said I don't do drugs. But if you want to know the truth, I do smoke a cigarette every once in a while.
Are you aware it's illegal for teenagers to purchase cigarettes?
I never really thought about it that way. Besides, I didn't buy them. I got them from my dad.
If you want to be a strong swimmer, then why do you risk your health with cigarettes?
Like I said, I tried it once or twice. And besides, I didn't even like it.
Did you have swim practice on the day you were arrested?
No.
Then what were you doing at school so late?
Objection, Your Honor. That is irrelevant.
Overruled. Beth, answer the question.
I was in detention.
Why did you have detention?
Well, a teacher caught me smoking at school, but just because I smoke a cigarette doesn't mean I smoke marijuana.
Have you gone to detention before?
Your Honor, I must renew my objection to these lines of question. The prosecutor is trying to prejudice the jury against my client.
Overruled. Your objection is noted for the record. Beth, answer the question.
For 2 weeks last fall.
Why?
They thought I stole some kid's backpack, but I was going to give it back after he sweated about it for a bit.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Members of the jury, an attorney for each party in the case will now make a closing argument. The attorneys will try to persuade you that their witness told the true story of what happened. The prosecutor may now address the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I told you in the beginning that this was a simple case. The police officer saw what really happened. He may not have seen it all, but he saw enough to know that Andy and Beth were both involved in selling drugs. Andy was holding the marijuana. He had a lot of cash with him, but he admitted that his family does not have much money. Why would a kid have that much cash? Use your common sense. He was selling drugs. Andy also showed his money to Beth. Both teens laughed about how much money they made selling marijuana. Beth has a lighter, and that proves she smokes both cigarettes and marijuana. She has been in trouble for smoking at school and for stealing. She is the type of kid who would sell drugs. Officer Crown arrived just in time to arrest these troublemakers. The government has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that both defendants are guilty.
Thank you. The attorney for defendant Andy Adams may now address the jury.
The prosecutor has called my client a troublemaker. Now ask yourself if a troublemaker would get straight A's in school, graduate from DARE, and join band? Sure, he's been upset about the divorce and missed a few classes, but that doesn't make him a criminal. He explained to you about the money. His mom gave it to him that morning to go shopping. He never showed his money to Beth. Why would he show his money to a girl he thought was a thief? On the other hand, look at Beth. Beth has stolen things from other kids. That shows she is not honest. Now she's trying to make up stories to blame Andy. I'm not saying the police officer is lying. I'm just saying he's mistaken. He did admit he was standing far away, and he did say he could not hear Andy say he wanted to sell the marijuana. So that means it could have happened just the way Andy described to you. Use your common sense to understand that Andy was nervous around Beth. He's too shy to be friends with a boy like Beth, and he is too shy to sell drugs to anyone. My client is innocent. I know you'll find him not guilty.
Thank you, counsel. The attorney for Beth Baker may now address the jury.
My client Beth is a great athlete. Some kids may think she's a bully because she's big and strong, but don't judge her by rumors. Now it is true that Beth sometimes gets in trouble and plays jokes on other kids, but that just goes to show she's a typical teenager. This is a simple case. There's no evidence against my client. It was Andy who had the money and the marijuana. The prosecutor wants you to find Beth guilty just because she was talking to Andy and had a cigarette lighter, but Beth told you the truth about the cigarettes. She admits it was a mistake to try them. She knows she cannot reach her dreams of going to the Olympics if she uses drugs. And ask yourself this question. If Andy were really afraid of Beth, then why did Andy greet her like a friend? Why was Andy laughing? Why didn't he just say no? The answer is simple. It's because Andy was the one trying to get Beth to sell drugs for him. The prosecution's case is full of holes. You must find Beth innocent. Thank you.
Members of the jury, I will now explain the rules you must follow to decide the case. The defendants are charged with the crime of possessing marijuana with intent to distribute. Possession means that the person owned the marijuana, had control over it. Intent to distribute means that the person planned to sell it to someone else. Both of those elements must be present before you can convict the defendant. The defendants are innocent until the government proves their guilt. The government has the burden of proving every element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. That means you must be firmly convinced that each defendant committed the crime. You must decide whether or not to believe the witness. You can use your common sense, but you cannot guess. Your verdict must be unanimous. That means all 12 of you must agree. The jury may now retire to consider its verdict. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Well, except for the verdict, you've seen everything you'd normally see as part of a criminal trial. And I really want to thank you for allowing me to be your guide through this entire process. I've enjoyed it tremendously. Now, having seen what's involved and how important a role it is to be a juror, it's now time for you to make your own decision.